Here's my situation. Snow builds up on this porch roof here, and it can get pretty tall, almost to a foot or more, because it's sliding down from this roof, and then it builds up here, and then it usually sheds all at one time because it's a metal roof and just drops on these plants. Not a good day. These bushes were all planted at the same time. This one got dropped on really bad, and you can see it died. They actually left it there so I could compare it to these. They're kind of frail, and when you just drop a heavy load on there, it's just going to damage the heck out of them, break the branches, and just in general kill it off. So that's what I'm trying to prevent here. I come up with a snow barrier, snow fence. Being from upstate New York, they have these all over the place. In the area where I live now, not so much, because we don't get a lot of snow. So I need a design that's portable that I can put up almost on an emergency basis and take it back down when the snow is no longer a factor. Here's what I came up with last year, but we didn't get any snow, so I wasn't able to test it. This is a 1-inch plastic grid. It's on a portable plastic sawhorse. It can take 200-pound load, just a PVC pipe. And the whole idea is this will divert the snow and shed it on either side. And I also want this portable so I can take it apart when it's not in use and use the sawhorses, or make it flat so it can store and not be a problem. I want the plants to get light but not get damaged by the snow. I'm running out of time because the snow's coming, so I got to come up with an answer that's going to work for this snowstorm. Try it out, but hopefully for all the snowstorms to come. Here's what I'm thinking. I've got 3 sawhorses, 3 3/4 inch, 1.5 inch pressure treated boards, some landscaping fabric. I've got that mesh I was talking about, and 2 additional boards. The area I've got to cover is 8 feet. Right now I'm thinking of a 2-phased approach. One, using the mesh, and then using an overlay of the landscaping fabric on top of the mesh using those 2. I'll label them all up. After I build it, I can just roll it up, take it up the stairs, and then put it in place. The roll I got was 3 feet wide and 25 feet long. I made 3 5 feet 6 inches or 66-inch fences that I'm going to put over the foldable sawhorses. And the only thing you need to cut the mesh is standard scissors. What I did next is clamp the boards to the sawhorse right in line with the end, about 1 inch or so above the ground. Then using a 1364 drill bit and 8-inch cable ties, made 2 holes, one in the top, one in the bottom, passed a cable tie through on all 4 points on both sides. I decided to get rid of the middle sawhorse and save a little money. If you had 3 plants separated by a further distance, you could just take and do one of these for each one. And there's a whole bunch of combinations you could do on this design. It's fairly flexible. I put front right on the front piece of wood, front right on the foldable sawhorse, front left on this sawhorse, and front left on that piece of wood. I installed the top piece, drilled a hole on both sides, and just put another cable tie through. I've put the plastic mesh on both sides over the sawhorses. Put cable ties every foot or so, and at the bottom. Once you have both ends done, put the other mesh in the middle. I start at the bottom and then put some tension on it for the top, do the other side. Pretty simple. I also didn't finish this end because I knew I was going to put this piece in. This is 3-foot wide mesh. If you had 4-foot wide mesh, you'd only need 2 pieces. Now all the cable ties are in place for all 3 mesh screens. And you could stop there, but I think I'm going to put landscaping fabric on top just to give it a nice little diverter. But this would probably work. We're going to use the other one that I've already made on a smaller plant and see how it does. Now I'm going to go through with this cable tie cutter. You just slide it on and cut it off just like that. And it'll make it nice and flush so it doesn't cut anybody. Go through and do all these cable ties just to clean it up a bit. I'll post this tool down below in case you're interested. Oh, it's just beautiful. I've also put a cable tie here in the middle to just kind of close that gap. This is rapid prototype engineering. So I took 2 pieces of landscaping fabric, 4 feet long, 30 inches wide. And one of the wood pieces, put down some double-sided indoor-outdoor carpeting tape. And if you don't have a stapling gun, I figured, hey, I'll just try a regular business stapler. And you know what? It worked pretty good. So I just lined that up on this side. I'm going to go all the way down and do the other end, put the second piece on, a piece of wood on the other side, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Now that each side of the landscaping fabric has been taped and stapled, you could probably just put it on like this and then secure it with a couple more cable ties. I'm going to drill a couple more holes into the folding sawhorses, but I also think I'm going to do this. Fold it over like that. So I'm going to have to clamp this in place, and then we'll just drill some holes and put some cable ties in and finish this job. The great thing about this design is once you're done with it, just like this mesh, you can just take this off and roll it up. So you may not want it at first or certain times, depending on what the snow's doing. You may not want it on there, but then you can just add it and then put a couple cable ties on and it's in place. You've seen the basic design build, and then you could just go crazy with it. You could just put 1 per sawhorse per plant. If for some reason this is too low, you could add some more wood stakes and raise it up. That was something I was thinking about doing, but I think I'm just going to fold the branches of the plant in carefully to keep them under the triangle the way it is now. When I did the back side, I actually folded the rig up so that I wouldn't overstretch on the top. I don't want to rip the landscaping fabric. I don't think I would anyway, but this just makes it nice and flat if you wanted to store it like this and not have to take it apart. I put 2 cable ties on either side of the seam. I was thinking about taping it or whatever. I don't think I need to do that. If it's really a big concern, I'll probably just run a piece of duct tape over the top. And then right there and right there, some clips on this end and the other end to hold this in place, so when I drilled in, I was right where I needed to be. And this just gives you a sense of how light it is. It's a couple pounds. It's a little bulky. That's why I designed it so that you could take it apart, roll it up, use the sawhorses when you're not using them for this project. Now we'll take this upstairs and put it in place. It's kind of dark outside, so I don't know what the lighting's going to be like. Maybe I'll hit it the next day. Here it is all in place. I could have made it a little longer, maybe a foot, to get the branches on this side and this side, but most of the branches are going to be protected by this solid snow barrier. It's going to divert the bad snow that comes off the roof to either side. You could also stake this, and I probably will, on the corners to make sure it doesn't flip over. And when I put it on, I just laid it in like this and then fed all the branches in the back to keep it under the triangle. Thumbs up and comments, always appreciated. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in home repairs, home solutions, designs of all kinds, making and breaking things, I even do costumes, cosplay, and props. Check out my channel and please subscribe, because you never know what crazy idea you're gonna see.